Hello, everybody. Can we get a couple of thumbs ups or chats just so we know that we are good and live?
Yay.
Love to see it.
Thank you, Catherine.
Oh, we're lighting up.
Thank you, Sarah. I can't get to everybody. Thank you guys for letting me know that we are good and live. Thank you to everybody who has joined so far. We are so excited to do this. In the Know is the first event of its kind for Ad2 and AdFed as a whole. So we really didn't know what to expect when we were planning this. And we couldn't be more excited that so many people have joined tonight because it really does show that the content that we're bringing to you guys tonight is something that is wanted within the Twin Cities advertising community. A little bit more background on the event in case you guys did not read the event right. We planned this event because we can see that there is a hole in our community for people who are trying to build their careers. So you can land a job, cool, but getting to the next step of your career can be really hard, especially in this industry, because everybody knows that this is a cutthroat industry, a lot of competition, especially in a small community like ours. So we really wanted to center this event around accessibility and bringing you guys some resources that can help you guys network and learn more about the industry and to just get a little bit more information so you guys can further your careers. We'll let you know the flow of this event. So we have 5 wonderful sponsors that are going to be sharing a little bit about their organizations today. And those 5 are going to be Soona, the Egotist, Extra Grind, Boundaryless, and the BrandLab. And after everybody presents on what their organization is all about, we're going to have a short Q&A session afterwards. So if you have any questions, please send them in. And then after the Q&A, we're going to do a little bit of a wrap up and let you know a little bit more about some of the perks that are coming along with this event. And this event is brought to you by Ad2, which is a partner of AdFed. And specifically, this was put on by the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. And so I'm Santana Baker, the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for Ad2, and I'm going to hand it off to my committee members to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Santana. I'm Alicia Lees, and I'm on the Ad2 Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I'm currently at Carmichael Lynch on the social team, and I too definitely know how hard it is to navigate the advertising industry. I've had multiple times where I've had coffees with people, try to get, mentors, try to get a job. So I definitely know what it's like. And I really hope this event's super helpful tonight. And we're so happy that you're here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alicia. And then I'm Margaret Siddig. I'm also on the Diversity and Inclusion team. I guess formal title would be event lead, but honestly just helping out and lending a hand. I am an assistant, actually an account manager at Hail Mary PR, which is a small startup in downtown Minneapolis. That's my day job. But I'm just so excited to be here and to be able to bring you all of these wonderful organizations. Just having 5 different organizations come here today just shows how excited people are to lend a hand and help out every single person who is here attending and the whole entire, advertising, PR, and marketing community. So thanks again for everyone tuning in today. And without further ado, I think we can jump into our first presentation. So to kick things off, we have Soona, which is a same-day photo and video studio designed to help brands get professional content. And Liz Georgie is joining us today and grew up in northern Minnesota and went to the J School at the University of Minnesota. Go Gophers!
Go Gophers!
She's an Emmy Award winner who founded Mightior, a production company which was recently acquired by Standard TV. She is also now the co-founder and CEO of Soona, the world's first fast casual content company with studios in Minneapolis, Denver, and Austin. You guys are really everywhere. That's amazing.
We're going everywhere. We're taking over the world. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. My career would not be what it is without the supportive community of folks like yourselves who need to make amazing, beautiful things in partnership with creative people like those that work at Soona. And so I'm really excited to share a little bit with all of you about Soona today. While I'm sharing my screen, I think, like, honestly, in the chat, everybody should just share their emoji for today. Like if you had to pick an emoji for how you feel today, it could be the wine emoji, it could be the beer emoji, it could be the sleep emoji, but just like pick an emoji for this conversation. It gives me a nice pulse of where we're at emotionally. And if you don't know how to get an emoji into Zoom, there's an amazing website called Emojipedia, which is an internet encyclopedia for emojis. And literally, if you walk away from my presentation today about resources with nothing more than Emojipedia, I think I might have done my job. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to share with all y'all a little bit more about Soona. It was introduced already, but I am Liz. I am the co-founder and CEO of Soona. I consider myself to be a creative at heart. But today, in the context of what I'm going to share with you, it's really about creating tools for folks like yourselves to be successful. So let's talk about what that means. You're maybe working with a client and you're thinking, I need assets for e-commerce. I need assets for social ads. Maybe you're working on your own portfolio and you want to update your own website and you want to put together some spec work or some example work of the types of content you can create. Maybe you're working on organic social media posts, that social media content marketing, the social treadmill of content we have to create, got to keep up, and you're just struggling to keep up. We're good for that. You want to run an amazing A/B test. Think, I want to run a test where I use the color red and I want to use the color pink and I want to see which one performs better. That Soona's great for that. You want to do an email campaign. Soona's great for that. Soona is really designed to help fit the needs of a lot of different visual platforms. And so anywhere that you're putting visual media online, whether it's a website, social, email, your portfolio, these are all great places for you to think about content creation. So in case you're thinking, Liz, I don't want to come into your studio on East Hennepin because of coronavirus, I got you. I hear that. I understand. I want to make sure that you know today that we have something called a real-time virtual shoot experience. And this real-time virtual shoot experience is incredibly dope, you guys. You are going to be able to use our platform to get content on your browser. You can actually attend the shoot in your browser, see every single photo, every single video clip as it's created, and get it shot, give feedback to the photographer in real time during the chat. It is incredibly fun. It is incredibly easy. So wherever you are, you create a booking, you ship your product, you join us while we capture your content, you shop during your shoot, and then you order your content, only what you want. Oh, my dog Fran is pumped about this, you guys. My dog Fran, she loves Soona. Give me 1 second. She's too excited and I can't get her to chill. Okay, so in the virtual browser, you can see every single photo and video clip. And here's the thing that people love about Soona, and I know you were going to love about Soona. You are only obligated to buy the content you truly need and want, whether that's for your customer, for your client, your spec work, or yourself. So you only pay $39 per photo for the photos you actually need. You're not paying the heavy production fees that we traditionally pay in this industry. And that's why it's so awesome. And that's why it's so helpful. Okay, so you're like, Liz, what if I need extra? What if I need more than that? We got you. Our marketplace has a variety of other things that you can add to your shoot completely a la carte. So you're like, I need someone to do some food styling or prep some food for me. We got you on that. You just add it at booking. You want to add an adorable doodle of some kind. We got you. We have pet models. We have dog models and cat models. So I know the cat models aren't as popular, but we're rocking with them both. We rock with them both. We do prop shopping for you. We also offer a variety of types of models. So if you're thinking, hey, I need an older model, I need a younger model, I need a child model, Our marketplace offers a variety of unrepresented talent. This is the bomb because you're not going to be caught up negotiating a contract with a talent agency. The price you pay at booking is the price you pay always, unlimited, forever. That is so key. I want you to feel like your content you're creating at Soona lives on forever. We also offer VIP producers. So if you have a bigger project, you have a project where maybe your client is just wanting more visibility, they want to pick up the phone and talk to Soona more often, we will hook you up with a producer on our team to really walk y'all through the process. Okay, so you're creating for your clients. Really, the way that this works is we are not y'all. Y'all are the best at the ideas. You're the best at the concepts. You're the best at the strategy. You're the best at understanding where you want them to live. So you bring us the ideas and we'll bring them to life. And that's really why creating for your clients with Soona is so easy, because you can take control and you get only what you truly need for your customer. But you can also create for your agency. So because we're all part of this amazing community, because we're all working together, we really want you to feel like we're your local go-to when you're in a pinch, when you need to do something fast, when maybe you want to show them some concepts, when you're ready to create lots of social content. We're here to help you tell that story. But before we wrap this up and I give you an amazing offer, I want you to know about something that you can just do for you. This isn't about your job. This isn't about, flexing and looking dope with your customers. This is about looking your best for yourself every day. At the top of this, your amazing board, the E&I board, was saying hey, it's hard to get a job. It's hard to feel confident about these things. That is so true. And that is why Soona does free headshots for all. My dog is also really freaking excited about free headshots for all, y'all, because we want you to feel like you have a place you can go when you need to update that look. You want to feel confident about your LinkedIn picture. You want to feel confident about the photo of yourself on your portfolio website. So please check us out for that. It's just soona.co/headshots for all. And you can book an appointment right there on the website to come in at your convenience. It is so much fun. It is completely COVID safe. We do a ton of protocols to keep you feeling really comfortable. So please check it out. We'd love to have you come in. All right, so just to wrap this all up, you're like, Liz, I'm ready. Let's do it. I am ready too. I am so ready for you to come visit us. If you want to come see us, we're at 320 East Hennepin. You can book an appointment online if you want to do an in-person photo shoot. That is always an option for you to make an appointment for an in-person photo shoot. But if you want to do an online photo shoot, remember you have that option. You have that option to do the browser-based photo shoot as well. I want you to just go to soona.co and make your booking. When you're making your booking, I'm giving you $40 off right now on anything that you want to shoot with a pro service. So think your hand models, think your styling, think your pet models, and just go ahead and use add to when you check out, and that $40 will come off right away. And then of course, please don't forget to go get a great headshot. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can just find me Liz Georgie or Elizabeth Georgie, I'll come up on either. I post my new headshot every single month. It is so empowering to make that photographic first impression, to really put your best foot forward, and to embrace your inner badass, embrace your inner confidant, embrace your inner superhero. Whatever it is that you want to show off to the world, we're here to help make that happen. And so thanks everyone. I really appreciate it. Here for feedback, questions, and your emoji madness. Oh, I'm so glad, Erin. Thank you for saying that you had a fun and safe experience. Thank you so much. I love it. I'm glad y'all love Soona. I overuse the word dope. Thank you for being forgiving about it. I know. Are there any questions about how to use Soona, about how to use our pet models, about how to pose in your headshot so that you feel like the inner queen or king that you are? I'm here for that. I have 3 minutes left, so I'm leaving it for y'all because I like to give all y'all the magic. My favorite pose. Oh my God, I do have a favorite pose right now. Okay, so this is for men and women, by the way. And the favorite pose is really kind of like a side angle like this. And then you look ahead, all right? So you look ahead with your chin and you really kind of create like some nice posture and some nice angles. But then you just kind of turn a little bit to give your eyes and then push the shoulder up a little bit. It's just like a little pop. And to me, this is like very Bridgerton. It's like very regal. If y'all watch Bridgerton, you know like how hot that show is. And I want you to look that hot too. So I'm really vibing on this like sort of shoulder. Does my dog have a headshot? I have 2 dogs, Hazel and Fran. They're both wild. And I apologize in advance for their insane behavior. My dogs both have headshots, and we encourage you, if you have a pet, please make your headshots for all and bring your pet in. It's so fun. It's a really great experience. The team at our studios is trained to work with your dog and to make sure you get those types of images. And so that are just like really fun. And yes, my dogs have headshots. And in addition to having headshots, they have family photos. It's a really awesome way to have a good time with your animal, and honestly just create something that the social media fiends love. So thank you for the question. You can totally bring cats. We've had many people bring cats. In fact, one of my favorite headshots for all that I've seen recently featured a cat. It was a kitten, actually, like a 6-month-old kitten. So cute. They used a string prop in the images. I thought it was like it was just so memorable. It was really wonderful. I'll leave you with this. Can I bring a sculpture? Hell yes, you can. Y'all, you can bring anything that you can put into your vehicle and like get into our building. There is no limits. If you bring like a lizard, we're going to be okay with it. The only thing we are not okay with you bringing is coronavirus. So bring your props, just don't bring coronavirus. Okay, Nathan is one of my favorite coworkers. Yes, we love Nathan. He's on our development team. Tell us how you won an Emmy, and do the people at Soona help you pose when you get there? So the first one is a long story. I used to edit television. I was really lucky to edit a lot of programs with Twin Cities Public Television and PBS, and I edited an episode of a show that won, and it was fantastic. Do the people at Soona help you pose? Yes, they do. So if you feel uncomfortable posing, if you feel like you've got something, and this is like my number 1 feedback, if you decide to get a headshot with any photographer, not just Soona, be really honest about what you like about yourself and what you don't like about yourself. So, if you're like, hey, I don't like my chin, or maybe I don't like, this side of my face as much, they will work with that. They will help you figure out how to really get that look. And go follow Soona on Instagram. We post a ton of inspirational headshots. Go follow the Soona account and see how different poses make different types of people look, and how to make you look strong or how to make you look demure. These are all things that we can help coach you through. So we really hope you'll come see us. You can follow us at Soona Studios on all the things. You can follow me at Liz Georgie on all the things. I would be so honored and privileged for you to do that. So thanks for spending your evening with me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Liz. That was wonderful. I'm definitely going to come in for a headshot. I don't know if any of the attendees feel this way, but I still have a headshot from like 2010, perhaps. So it's about time, and we really appreciate all the resources that you have to offer. That was amazing. So then we are going to turn it over to our next presenter. So we're going to have the Minneapolis Egotist coming up next. Some of you maybe have heard of this website, maybe not. They're a little bit mysterious because they are an anonymously run website serving up news on advertising, design, and other creative resources to the Twin Cities advertising community. Minneapolis Egotist, are you there?
We are here. Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for having us. It's an honor. Honestly, just being able to share what we do with like-minded people and organizations that really lift people up in the community is huge. So it's an honor to be here. And if you can see, obviously we don't have a picture. That's not technical difficulties. Being anonymous, we didn't want to show our faces. We also speak about ourselves in the 3rd person. So headshots sound great, but I don't think we can work that out with Soona. That said, we're going to walk through our presentation. The technical difficulties where we couldn't screen share, and I think it's probably something on our end with people not wanting to know who we are. But AdSense has been gracious enough to walk us through the presentation. We'll do it old school, where it's next slide, please. Next slide, please. So if you could start at the beginning, please. Yeah, great. Yeah. So the Guy Fawkes mask, as we get it, it's anonymous. We can go to the next slide here. We are the Minneapolis Egotist. Next slide. And we have a manifesto because in advertising, who doesn't love a manifesto? I mean, sometimes it gets to the point where they're everywhere and it's in every big pitch and all of that. So we just thought, you know, we got to do what the advertising community is doing. So this was our best attempt at doing it. It's been something that has been around since 2010. We really haven't updated it. Sometimes it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but here goes. We believe the opportunity for betterment lies at our feet and that it can happen by challenging one another, holding each other accountable for our work, and hiring and promoting local talent. This is our attempt to foster big ideas and radical thinking on a local level to promote the best of the best here in Minnesota. This is the Minneapolis Egotist, a means to an end. Next slide. Who we are. So we were founded in 2010. The original founder of the Egotist was from Denver, Colorado. At that point, there was a local blogger in the Minneapolis scene who had a bunch of followers. He was sharing a bunch of great work. The Denver site reached out to this individual and said, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing in Denver called the Egotist. I think your community could really benefit from it. Why don't you start it? So in 2010, the Minneapolis Egotist was founded. And you can do next. As we've discussed, we're anonymously run. There's 12 Egotist sites. There's one in London. We've got Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, Denver, out to the West Coast, LA, San Francisco. And part of it about it being anonymously run was, one, Denver just started that way. And really it took the bias out of it. You could post work and it wasn't us saying, hey, this is the greatest work, or this is such terrible work that we need to show it. It was just, this is what our community is doing. And you know what? Somebody might look at it and think it's horrible, but somebody else is going to look at it and think it's great. So we want to come out just as an anonymous voice and showcase some of this work and let the people speak about it and really share what they think is working or maybe not working with the work, but really just give a voice to the people and also the agencies, big and small, who are submitting and making this great work. Next, please. We don't have data on this, so it might sound like a Donald Trump thing. We're one of the most visited advertising blogs in the Midwest. But I mean, years ago, it was the most visited advertising blog. We haven't run the metrics lately, but it is through Google Analytics, the traffic is great. It's a great resource for up and comers and even, people who have been in the ad game for a long time. Next, please. In 2020, for example, 34% of our visitors were between the ages of 25 and 34. So for the young professionals out there that fall within that range, most of our visitors are really falling within that demographic there. So you're in good company. And we can go to the next slide. Thank you. So overall, what we do is try to bolster Minnesota's reputation. Minnesota has had a great reputation for an ad community for decades. And it really hasn't changed, but we are here to give a voice to the smaller mom and pop shops, the PR firms, and the bigger guys. So, you'll see the Six Speeds and the Fellows, and then you got the Fallons. We partner with AdFed. We love AdFed and everything they do for the community. Love to, attend events, post about their events. But overall, we really want to put Minneapolis on the map. And even though it's already there, really just expand to a worldwide network there. Next slide. So with that, how do we do it? And when it comes down to it, it's all about our site. So we'll pull up our site and we can walk you through. If you've been to the site, multiple times, that's great. If you haven't, that's fine too. We'll just go through some of the pages that get the most traffic, the ones that seem to be the most resourceful. Straight down the middle, this is our news feed. As you can see just today, it was announced that Mono is agency of record for Sky. If you keep scrolling, Red Wing is releasing their first ever global campaign. Also within the news feature, we're gonna get events such as the one tonight. If you wanna just keep scrolling further down, that's great. And internship alerts, all of that. So we use the newsfeed. It's anything from agencies picking up work to so-and-so moving to this agency, job alerts, internship alerts, events coming up. Our most trafficked page is the jobs page. If you click on the jobs tab up top, and this is really streamlined to a point where the boss jobs, as we call them, you can scroll through those left and right. And those are the jobs that are either offered in Minneapolis, they could be Denver, they could be St. Louis, they could be Chicago. But you can quickly scroll through those, and then below that are all of the other internship opportunities, full-time gigs, freelance gigs that are available throughout any Egotist site. So like I said, this is obviously the most trafficked page on our site, especially during these times in 2020, 2021, when people are looking for gigs. It's a great resource. And if you open any of them up, it's got all the details on how to apply, what the gig is all about. So that is, probably the next best resource there. I would say if you scroll down and then, yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is great. So shows the description, how to apply, all of that in one stop. The next page we'd like to highlight, if you go up to events, that's where organizations can submit their events, and it lives on our calendar. It's displayed on our page. So of course, tonight, In the Know is on here. We have AdFed Minnesota's The Show 2021. If you click on that, you get all the details. You can register, you can buy your tickets, and get all the info you need. And then I would say the next, if you go to talent, the nice thing about our site is, sure, we get a lot of spam. So we will have folks sign up that say they're astronauts and no great SEO and this and that. But if you join as a member, it's totally free to join. What it's really doing is just you're creating a profile. And with your profile, I mean, it's your specialty, all of that. What you can do once you become a member, and tonight what we're offering for anyone who attended, we do a 7-day feature, which is usually $50 for a run of 7 days. And with that, you get your profile and portfolio, but we also will advertise it on our site. So we know it's hard breaking in to the advertising industry. And a lot of the time it's difficult. You might not have enough experience or just spec work. But by becoming a member, and then when you sign up for being a featured member for free, you will have not only your profile, but all of your work. It'll be shown. If you scroll down for a second here, below recent jobs, you're looking on the right there where it says featured profiles become featured. Right now, none of them are live. They last for 7 days, and once they expire, they expire. But that's where your featured profile would live. Be a headshot, you click, you can go through certain favorite parts of your work, which is huge. I mean, it's really a great way to get your name out there. And on top of that, we also really like to bolster, the up and comers. We'll do a Friday meet feature, and every Friday we have fresh meat. Anyone from, experience from no years to 5 years can feature their work, and we'll do a write-up on them, with their biography, their background information, and talk about their 3 top favorite projects. So, I mean, really trying to, continue to bring people into advertising, because many of us at the Egotist, and since 2010, I think there's been a total of 15 of us, but I mean, we come from many different walks of life. I mean, there's a handful of us, though. It was a struggle. We got into it, and there wasn't portfolio school. There wasn't copywriting school. So we're doing spec work, and we're creating it on our own. And we hear, well, no, you just need more experience. But if people aren't willing to give you the experience, how do you get that experience? So what we want to do as a site is to do things like you become a member, and through this and attending this event, you can have a featured profile. You can, get some buzz for your name and some of your work. And then also Fresh Meat Friday. I mean, that's free. You just submit a news post to us. And if we like your work, we think it's great. I mean, we'll feature it on Friday and just spread the word, near and far within the community, just to show off, like the young up and comers in the local community that are doing great things. So with that, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the walk through the site. If you have questions, we can address them now. Otherwise, I know there's Q&A at the end. We can hold it to then, whatever AdFed wants to do.
Thank you so much, Minneapolis Egotist. That was
Well, thank you for running us through it with all of the technical difficulties we've had. We appreciate it.
We are living in the age of Zoom and technical difficulties left and right, but we made it work. So I really appreciate you being here and doing that with me as well. But yes, any questions people have about the Minneapolis Egotist, feel free to put it in the Q&A, and we can do that after the presentations. We'll run through anything the attendees have to ask. And also that 7-day run that the Minneapolis Egotist mentioned, I'm just going to reiterate because once again, a really wonderful deal. So really people take advantage of it. It's not always that you get a deal like this, and why not? It'll help get your career boosted. So
right, and sorry, we should say the promo code for that is featured. The E's are 3s, so that's featured, but the E's are 3s. And then on our last slide, I don't know if you could pull it up quick, but our last slide has just contact information to find us on Twitter, email, etc. Feel free to email us, find us on Twitter, and we'll get you the code. But if you have a pen handy and some paper, it's featured for the promo code, and just swap out the E's for 3s.
Minneapolis Egotist, you can also put it into the chat function. If you're able to do that, then all the attendees should be able to see. And then we will also share that towards the end of the event, and we'll send around a thank you email to all the attendees, so they have that information as well. Great. Okay. Well, then we'll move on to our third presenter. Keep moving forward. So third, we have Extra Grind. We're super excited for you guys to be here. They are an all-free after-hours school for overachievers, up-all-nighters, and the chronically ad-curious. Hello, me. I'm sure many of you here are probably doing that as we're sitting on a webinar after hours. But here we have Bryce and Anjali, a project manager and copywriter at Superhuman, who are here to share more. While they work on a variety of projects together, they're 2 members of the core team working on promoting and programming for Extra Grind. Tonight, they'll be sharing a quick overview and what's in store for the program. Thank you guys so much, and feel free to take it away.
Thank you so much for that intro and for having us here today. Like mentioned, my name is Bryce. I'm a project manager at Superhuman, and I'm here with Anjali as well. I'll jump quickly right into our agenda before we do introductions, but we'll give a background about us, and then we'll talk about Extra Grind and how to stay in touch with us. So for today's speakers, you have me, Bryce Thompson, project manager, and I'll let Anjali speak for her.
I'm Anjali. I'm a copywriter at Superhuman, and I was also a former Extra Grind student, / maybe always, since I'm always learning. But yeah, that's a shorter haired version of me from almost over a year ago.
And time flies. And so I just want to take a moment and talk a little bit about how Extra Grind started as a resource for the Twin Cities. And Extra Grind as an idea came from the CEO of Superhuman, Van. And Van was previously an instructor at the Miami Ad School. And after teaching, he wanted to develop a way to remove the barriers to ad education. It can be expensive to portfolio school. There's not always infrastructure to learn about advertising at young ages or even as an adult. And there's not always resources if you ever want to make a career change. And so with his idea and passion to remove barriers to advertising education, that's how Extra Grind was founded. So you have individuals like me and Anjali who are also passionate about making it easier to learn about advertising, whether that's networking, getting in, getting an internship, and just making yourself known within the advertising industry, whether that's local here or not here, as we've also done like one-on-one interviews with people who don't live in Minnesota. And so how it's going, we've taught over 18 classes, all related to advertising, whether that's strategy, copywriting, or design. We've been able to teach over 100 students and have been able to do multiple events, just like this one here, with thanks to partnering with Add2. We've also been able to make physical items like pins that we can wear on our clothes. We do class announcements through our Instagram, and then we also have our own website where you can also learn about advertising anytime through Extra Grind Anytime, which is our every hour on demand ad school. So you can learn about roles that we currently have in video format at any time. Next up, we also, this was a little bit easier more to do when we weren't in a pandemic, but be able to put up posters around universities and get the word out about Extra Grind. So just like how students go to school during the day, people work during the day, we have a message to get the word out about Extra Grind as a resource. So whether they are up all day, they get to grind at night, which is typically when we have our Extra Grind classes. And the really beautiful thing about Extra Grind being a resource is that the Minneapolis and local Twin Cities area has also recognized Extra Grind as a vital resource, and that's allowed us to win a pin and do speaking events like this and other ones to help and continue get the word out about Extra Grind. So I'll let Angeli just talk for a bit about what Extra Grind does.
Yeah, Bryce and I are going to discuss just like a lot of the tenets that Extra Grind does on through both what we do for sharing and what we do for making sure we're a great school. So again, one of the huge tenets is that we share. This is all classwork done by different Extra Grind students. There's even a photo of me in there presenting as an Extra Grind student. And it's a huge, huge deal to be able to take a lot of learning and then be able to synthesize that. So as Extra Grind students, a huge tenet is really just being able to not only learn about advertising, but like take your own stab at writing voice and tone documents or designing packaging or thinking through strategy. Because hands-on learning is super, super important, and I think really helpful way of learning. And also when we say we share, we also just love sharing our knowledge from Superhuman with students and making sure that it's really robust learning.
And so typically our classes have been in person, but just like everyone else, another tenet of ours is we adapt, whether that's in person or online. We make effort to make sure that the progress and the amount of impact that we can have in person it can also happen online. And some of the benefits of being able to adapt and do online classes is having more students or more individuals interested in Extra Grind and advertising join our classes. So we've been able to reach a broader amount of people because we're not limited to the physical space of our office.
We also listen. I think this is a really great example because over the fall, we ran a survey trying to reach beyond our standard Extra Grind audience, but also asking working professionals and anyone else who just saw the link what their experience in advertising has been so far. Just making sure that we're not always just teaching the same people things, like making sure that we can keep the lines of communication as open as possible and just in reaching new audiences. And also beyond that, on the next slide, we also asked questions. We also asked 4 questions just to get a sense of what people really need in their advertising education. Like, is it hard skills like design, or is it more philosophical questions about advertising? Like, can soft-spoken individuals be successful in advertising? Do I have to go to portfolio school? What roles are important in agencies? What skills are important? And how can I get hands-on experience and practice what I've learned? So we just really, really, really wanted to get a sense of not only like how our work is affecting people, but how we can make it better and how we can always just really offer people the tools and insights that they need beyond just like, we think this is a cool class that could be fun, because fun really matters, but also just having your questions answered matters too.
And so sharing, adapting, and listening, we also celebrate the hard work that it takes to volunteer your own time as a person who's interested in Extra Grind. We celebrate what we've learned, what we've gained, whether it be skills, connections, or networking. And then we continue to host classes and over time, it's really fun to see people who've taken previous extra grind classes come to future ones, and it helps essentially, at least for me, and I feel like others, I've observed that it makes it easier to just connect with other people, knowing that this is just one resource that you have in common that individuals have used and find useful. And so when thinking about how to stay in touch with Extra Grind or learning more about Extra Grind, there's two ways that are great to stay up to date with us. One being the primary way is following us on Instagram at Extra Grind School. Through our Instagram, we use it for a variety of purposes, whether that's community outreach or announcing classes, wishing everyone well. We use it for those purposes. And then you can also learn more about Extra Grind at our website, extragrind.school. Not to hammer home the point on Instagram, but like I said, for community outreach and for our listening tenant, we also use Instagram as a way to get in touch with what you, if you're interested in advertising, want to learn and know more about. So on day of classes, if we get any questions through Instagram about classes, you have myself and Angeli, along with other superhumans on the Extra Grind team, who are available to answer questions and make sure that we're available for you. If classes are coming up or if we announce, it's just one of the easiest ways to get in touch with us about Extra Grind. So with that, thank you.
Awesome. That was so great, Extra Grind. I mean, that sounds great. I want to take classes like every day with you guys. So thank you for that. All right. So next up, we have Boundaryless. Just to tell you a little bit more about them. They are the first step for anyone to explore, experience, and enter the Twin Cities advertising industry. One of their speakers is Aaron, who goes by he, they, is a co-founder of Boundaryless and is an account manager at Preston Kelly. As a 2019 grad from St. Olaf College with a degree in theater, Aaron understands that there's no such thing as a typical path into the advertising industry and believes that some folks face added barriers to entry, such as race, gender, socioeconomic status, and background. Barriers that we can overcome when we support each other. The second speaker is Jada, who goes by she, her, is a senior at the U of M studying advertising and film. She'll be production intern with BrandLab this summer and will be continuing her work with Boundaryless to help young professionals get the jumpstart they need. Please welcome Boundaryless.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So yes, hello everybody. We are Boundaryless. I am Jada and I'm here with Aaron, and we are so excited to be sharing with you guys today. We wanted to start off by saying that Boundaryless was created by two young professionals who were in your shoes and is still being run by young professionals who totally understand how intimidating breaking out into this field is. I mean, I'm a senior in college, so those wounds are fresh. I'm living it right now. And Aaron is actually super new to their career too, so we totally understand. And so that's kind of what Boundaryless aims to do. We hope to give you some tools and experience and resources to help you break out into the field, and especially for those who come from disadvantaged backgrounds, where we all know that sometimes it's a little harder to break into this industry. So Boundaryless is here to help you get that boost you need to just feel more confident about beginning your career. We're here to help you explore, experience, and enter the Twin Cities ad scene. And we do this by building a diverse community where really we just want to give you a place where you can grow, where you feel like it's okay to take risks, it's okay to try something new, and just give you a community where we all learn from each other and help each other out. So how does Boundaryless help you with this? First off, we really just hope to help you get oriented in the Twin Cities ad scene. The Twin Cities can feel so ginormous at times, and if you don't land that Carmichael Lynch internship, it can sometimes just feel like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Well, there are tons of agencies here in Minneapolis, or opportunities. You're listening to 5 great opportunities today here in the Twin Cities, and Boundaryless really just wants to help you connect with these people. We have mentors from various agencies, and these mentors really just want to help you and watch you grow. So they are here they work with Boundaryless and really dedicate their time to helping you. And then obviously that means you get to connect with them and connect and learn from a bunch of agencies here in the Twin Cities. And then with that, of course, Boundaryless also loves to help you gain experience. We do have real client work, which would work great on portfolios or just generally gaining more experience. And again, sometimes on our programs, we have different agency roles that you get to try on. So say you're a creative, but maybe you want to try out an account role. We'd be happy to give you that opportunity. So the programs that we host are completely free to help eliminate any kind of monetary barrier, because again, it's just really tough out there getting this type of experience and breaking out into the field. So yeah, that is kind of a rundown of what Boundaryless would really just love to help, or really would love to help you out with. So this is kind of a really brief framework of what our programs have looked like in the past. So we had a summer session this last summer that lasted 3 weeks, teams of 5, and everyone had a specific role. So in every role, there was a creative director, there was a copywriter, there was a strategist, and so on. And then in our January session, which just ended about a month ago, it was a 1 week, teams of 2 and no specific roles. But those are kind of a brief rundown of what those programs look like. Either way, any program that we put on, we will hook you up with a mentor, give you learning opportunities to try out new things and to learn and to really refine your skills. And then of course, we usually always have a real client that you get to work with.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of an added value here with Superhuman and Extra Grind going before us, because they set up some great stats about what people are looking for. And like Jada said, we personally have experienced the importance of networks and mentors in not only growing as young professionals, but also in getting access to job opportunities. I know one quote, I used to work at St. Olaf, I used to work at the Career Center, and we always talked about how 70% of jobs come through networks and are never posted. So that is a part of the advertising process that we want you to be privy to, and that people can easily be sidelined on. So part of solving that problem is connecting you, like Jada said, with the wide variety of folks that exist in the Twin Cities. We love Fallon, we love Carmichael Lynch, we love the big names that bring the eyes to our city, but there are also so many great small agencies, different formats of agencies. I think having Soona on this call is awesome. I already gave them a little shout out, so I won't give them any more free press, but you know, different approaches to this problem and this idea of advertising and marketing. We want to be a part of all of those. You're welcome, Liz. As well as we really strongly believe in partnering with other folks like AdFed. You'll see AIGA on here. We just shouted out to a program they're running on our internal channels as well. We're all about bringing you as much visibility to the world of advertising in our local space as possible, as well as getting as many people on that outside those potential hirers of you, as much visibility to you as possible as well. And then like Jada said, we know hands down that real work and real experience can be the difference between getting a job or not getting a job. And for a lot of us that come from backgrounds that aren't typical, backgrounds that are disadvantaged, or just have personal identities that aren't valued highly in society often, we don't always get the same access to those experiences. So our goal with Boundaryless is to give you a short spurt of activity that you could talk about nonstop. So we work really hard to get clients, not only that you will want to talk about in your portfolio or just in a job interview, but also that you're excited to work on, things that you can get behind. Like General Mills, we worked with General Mills Bugles brand this summer. People had so much fun, obviously, thinking of a million different ways to make finger hats fun again. And then in January, we worked with Special Olympics Minnesota, who's an incredible brand. If you don't know about their work, they do such important work, but also have a really joyful energy to them that all of our participants just vibed with really hard. So we always think about that as we put together our programs as well. And then we just wanted to share just a couple comments that people have shared. And I swear to God, I did not plan this. as we were sitting in this meeting, I got a LinkedIn message from a past participant sharing that she just landed a job at Wavemaker, which I think is like one of the biggest global media agencies in the world. So our goal at the end of the day, I think it was the Egotist that said, we are a means to an end. That is how Boundaryless sees ourselves as well. We want to get you a job. We want to get you the next step. We want you to change from a creative to an account person, or more likely maybe to an account person to finally being a creative. We're here to make you get to the next step. So at the end of the day, I think we'll take a note out of Superhuman's book and maybe do some more listening, do some social listening, but we're here to change the program, to make the program fit with your needs and to help you find that next step for you. So coming up next, things to stay tuned on. We will have a summer session this year. So if you're thinking about trying on a new role, or maybe you're early on in your career and you're just trying to get some of those early experiences to talk about in interviews or in your portfolio, definitely keep an eye out for our summer session. Best way to do that, go to our website, boundarylessmn.com. Take a look at our sign up there and drop your email in. You'll hear updates as those things go live. Also, feel free to shoot us an email. Or follow us on LinkedIn. Also follow myself and Jada. Jada can speak to this and she probably gets tired of me saying it, but I am a people person. I love networking. If you can, find a time on my calendar that I'm not head down in client work, I would love to hear about you, your experiences, what you're looking for, and I will shoot you a message as soon as I see a job come up that I think you'd be a good fit for, whatever. So please do connect with me personally, connect with Jada. We're here to be, friends, hopefully as well, but part of your network. So please take us up on that.
Yeah, and I can definitely vouch for Aaron. Aaron loves connecting people to other people. So definitely connect with Aaron. Also connect with me. I would love to be friends and to just, maybe we can work together one day, because again, I am a senior in college and it's a very scary time. So, so thank you so much for listening to us. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll hopefully get through them after our next presenter, and thank you.
Awesome. That was so great. That messaging is so good, because so many jobs actually are relative to the advertising industry. You just learn many skills that can really work. So that was great. Thank you so much, guys. All right. So next up, we have the BrandLab. Tell you a little bit more about the BrandLab. They're on a mission to change the face and the voice of the marketing industry. We are honored tonight to have two speakers, including Jamila Joyner, who goes by she, her, is the Fearless Coordinator at the BrandLab. She helps to facilitate workshops and encourage fearless conversations, and helps produce the 3 Fearless Questions podcast. We also have Suzanne O, who goes by she, her, hers, and she is the Fearless Director at the BrandLab. In her 4 years at the BrandLab, she has developed and expanded the reach of the Fearless program in Minnesota and into Kansas City as well. Please join me in welcoming the BrandLab.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Again, my name is Suzanne, Fearless Director, and with me today is
Jamila. Hi, I'm the Fearless Coordinator.
We are so excited to share a little bit about our org, and we're feeling the pressure of going after all these amazing people, but love the collaboration, love the shared interest in making this industry better. So thanks for having us. All right, here's our fancy cover. So the BrandLab is a nonprofit started about 13 years ago now, with a mission to change the face and the voice of the marketing industry. So started right here in Minneapolis and now has expanded into Kansas City. And now we just learned that we are expanding into Milwaukee as well. So really exciting time. But we, like everyone on this call, has a vision of an industry that thrives with the creativity and insights of everyone. And so we do this through a few programs and pillars.
So we have 4 pillars for each of our programs. Exposure is the first one. It's our Spark program. And this is where we go into high schools and discuss what it means to make creativity into a career. Access is the second one, and it is our internship program. So these are the students who apply for internships and are selected. They're invited to our paid summer internship program, and they are given professional and personal development and a paid internship at an agency an agency or a marketing department at a corporation. So it's a huge deal. It's a really great opportunity for students in college or in high school as well. Opportunity is our college and beyond program. So this is for anybody who has completed an internship. They are considered an alumni of our program, and alumni are given more rigorous internships. They're given access to apprenticeships, access to professional development and networking events. So they receive support from us until they get a job in the industry, which is exciting. That's why it's called College and Beyond. And equity is our Fearless program. This is especially where me and Suzanne work. This is not just for our students. So the work in DEI is on all of us, especially people who are already in the industry. So we provide curriculum, events, and support to create diverse, inclusive, and equitable workspaces so that everyone can truly thrive. So next, it'll just show you our different programs. It's got a couple of little descriptions there about all of the things that we offer for students and then also for organizations. So the biggest question is, why Fearless?
Yes. So Fearless started after a few years of doing the BrandLab program with students. We realized as we were doing this work that it's on every single one of us. Yes, students and young folks are our future, and change makers are like there and they're doing things amazing. But we also know there's power dynamics in play. There are people who are already in positions of power in this industry, and they need to make these changes happen too. So when we think about Fearless, there are a few pieces that we want to talk about. The diversity, so the number of people from diverse backgrounds in this industry. Equity, the actions we're taking to make sure that everyone does have access to these spaces and can thrive, and inclusion, making sure these spaces are places people want to stay. So a part of our work is doing research around what this industry looks like. And so to just give you a little glimpse of it, we're not going to do too big of a data dive tonight. So start looking at the demographics of the Twin Cities industry. So every other year we collect data on just who is in this industry and what does it look like. And you'll see throughout the years, we are continuously increasing. Yet the number of Black, Indigenous, people of color does not even match the number of people of color in Minnesota at around 25% now. So we know there's a huge gap that still needs to be addressed. Not only that, there are still a few people who say that diversifying their workforce is not important to them, right? We're at 93%, we gotta make that 100. This should be a priority for everyone. So Fearless really works on making sure we can get that number to 100%, and also making sure that people feel like they know what to do, what actions to take, and they aren't scared, right? We don't want people to not do anything because they're scared to do it. We want people to feel fearless. We want them to be brave because they are passionate about this work with us. So that's a little bit of data for why we do this and why we're so passionate about this too. So Jamila will share a little bit more about what our programming looks like around that and how you might engage.
Yeah, so our Fearless program is mainly comprised of these 4 things. So the 3FQ podcast, or the 3 Fearless Questions podcast, is a podcast hosted and produced by our alumni. They interview everybody from celebrities to CEOs, CMOs, and all the people in between. So you can go and listen to that podcast on SoundCloud. It is under the BrandLab. The second part of our Fearless program is Fearless Workshops. And this is a big part of our work. Our workshops around DEI for agencies and marketing departments are made by the industry and for the industry. So if you're interested in taking one, advocate for them at your organization. We'd love to work with you. And we have a really strong group of our volunteers who are also within the industry that lead them, who teach them, and learn alongside with you all. The state of the industry is, like Suzanne said, our research that we do every other year, tracking the demographic changes of the industry. So look out for our newest report coming in April. You'll get 1,000,000,001 emails from us asking you to fill it out. And we want to make sure that we get all of the data that we possibly can, so it informs the work that we're doing through these workshops and podcasts. And the last part of it is our Fearless Conference. It's our annual event revamped into a 2-day virtual conference. So you you can come and join us. It's going to be happening in April on the 14th and 15th this year. And speaking of the conference, this is our theme. The world is watching, now what? So in 2020, more companies and agencies have made public commitments to better their diversity, equity, and inclusion practices than ever before. I'm sure we all know why. In 2021, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We need an industry that prioritizes true belonging over the fear of making mistakes. And every person and organization needs to act fearlessly in order to create long-lasting systemic change. So this year, our 2-day Fearless Conference will show you how to courageously move forward. You will gain skills and tools, a network of support, and leave with more curiosity and questions to fuel all of us in this new decade. So the world is watching. Now what?
Now what? So we're hoping you will attend. The first day is really focused on personal development and what you can do as an individual, even when you are just entering into this industry, right? All the way up to what a CEO could do. The second day is focused on us as an industry itself. What can we all do? What can we collectively do together to make sure we are as inclusive as possible? There we go. So we would love to have you there. So on the little left-hand corner, there is ticket pricing. It's typically $50. For young professionals, it's $25. And because you are here spending time with us today, we hope you will come. There's a promo code for an additional $10 off that young professionals ticket. So just type in add to, try to keep it short and sweet because I mess up promo codes all the time. So there you go. And yes, there will be an email going out with this promo code too, with the link as well. If you go to our website, thebrandlab.org, it's like the second link on that website. So this is a movement. We think of not BrandLab as just ourselves, but as something that we all do collectively, right? And so if you want to get engaged, please reach out to Jamila and me. We'll put our emails in there in the chat. And please get involved, advocate for BrandLab, advocate for all these organizations here. And there is a space for you. So just let us know how you want to get involved. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much to the BrandLab. That was so exciting to hear everything that you guys are doing. This conference coming up, I think it's going to be amazing for our community. So again, thank you to Suzanne and Jamila from the BrandLab. And I said it in the chat, but we've had a couple of promo codes for perks for all of the event attendees come up tonight, but don't worry, you guys. We will be sending an email out to you that has everything. So if you didn't get a chance to write it down, no worries. But again, I just want to say thank you to actually all of our sponsors tonight who have presented, which included Soona, the Egotist, Extra Grind, Boundaryless, the BrandLab, everybody. We're so thankful that you guys came here tonight and shared all of your resources with all of our attendees tonight. I think it's really cool that we have these resources in the Twin Cities. You know, we may be a small community, but we are a strong community. So thank you so much. We're absolutely just so psyched about all of this. But now it is time for the Q&A part of the night. So if anybody has any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box or drop them in the chat box. We will see them. But yeah, we want to know what you guys want to know. We have some questions that we can ask as well, but if you guys have something you are just burning to know, please let us know. We did get one question a little bit ago, so let's just kick this off. This one is going to be for the Boundaryless team. This person said, what a great program. What is the cost for agencies to participate?
Great question. We are currently building our agency partnership model, so I wish I had a very clear answer for you. I don't at the moment. What I can say is shoot me a LinkedIn message, add me, do a drop on our info at BoundarylessMN, and we will set up a meeting and chat through those details. But thank you for asking. Yeah, if you're here from an agency and you think your agency would benefit from being involved in something like this, especially as far as getting the news about new diverse talent that's entering the space and they're looking for interns, or entry-level positions, please let us know. We'd love to talk about what that could look like.
Thank you. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, as Aaron just said, shoot him an email. And I believe that email is info@boundarylessmn.com. So cool. Okay, we're getting a couple questions. Thank you to the people who are asking questions. Okay, this one is going to be for Soona. What was the process like in building your business? Any lessons to keep in mind? Also, your dog.
I thought if she ruined the presentation, at least you could see how cute she is, so that she was worth it. Like, she was
definitely
so
worth
it. Yeah, so the process of building my business, listen, it's been if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, I really encourage you to do so and to really look at the resources that we have in Minnesota that are particularly helpful. We have a Techstars program, we have a Minnesota Cup program. Go check those out. They're great tools if you're just getting started and want to learn more about business. In terms of my process, my vision for Soona came from my first company. So I had a production company for 7 years called Mightier that serviced agencies like the ones we've talked about tonight in creating professional ads. And I really just became obsessed and passionate with the fact that there weren't productions that cost less than $50,000. Everything was a really high ticket item, and we should be able to have high quality professional content that everyone can afford. Our mission statement at Soona is actually quality content for all, and I take that very, very seriously. And so it was a 2-year process of building the tech, building the experience, getting our spaces rented, getting our spaces built out. And now today, it'll be 4 years since I started working on Soona in October, which is hard to believe because I know it seems so new, but advice that I give people is know what you don't know and then go find the resources that are free or cheap to get smart. And the second piece of advice I tell people is find your community, find the folks who are in the same stage as you. One of the amazing things about my community is that I have people who are my cheerleaders. They cheerlead for me when I need help. I have people who are my helpers. They show up for me when I need someone to roll up their sleeves and go to work. And I have people who are my commiserators, and they're willing to drink a glass of wine or drink a glass of whiskey when things go wrong. Those people can be in your life too and can help make your business journey go even better. And I'll plug in my in the chat when I'm done here, a blog that I'm starting right now to talk about my entrepreneurial journey and more transparency, because it's not easy, but it is something that anyone can do. And that's one of the great things about living in this great community.
Oh, thank you, Liz, for sharing that. I feel like a big part of Soona is bringing some accessibility into producing good content. And I think that personally for me is super inspiring and exciting that we have that in our community. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, moving on to the next question. This is for the BrandLab. This person, Autumn Thomas, she is wondering, is the April conference on a video chat or is it going to be in person?
Hi, Autumn. This is the easy one for us. It's on Zoom. You'll see the link, and once you register, you'll start getting more information about it. Hopefully in future years, it will be in person. We're hoping for Kansas City in 2022, so fingers crossed.
Yes, I think for right now, a lot of things are going to be in person, or not in person, they're going to be virtual because of the times. We're not going to say the C word right now, but we all know what I'm talking about. Somebody asked, and I answered this in the chat, but we can send out the recording of this panel because we are recording this session. So we definitely can. Okay, so this is going to be a high-level question for any of the sponsors that would like to answer this. So this is coming from the D&I committee specifically. We're wondering, how specifically does D&I play a role in your organization when it comes to who you're reaching, how you're thinking about the strategy of your organization, and pretty much who is running your organization? So how does D&I play into what you do?
Yeah, well, I'll just answer this because we have 62 people at Soona now. And for a tech company, you know, we're 81% diverse, which is pretty rare, I think, for our community. And it is one of the most important values we have at the business. You are not allowed to hire a single human at Soona unless you've done your diligence on inclusion. And you have to have that level of leadership coming from the top. And that really, you know, for those of you that are thinking, what can I do in the organizations that I'm working in? You can put in that data and you can put in those stories, but they really have to see the value from the top on making those policy changes and making those decisions to really enforce it. So here's what I would always say: shoot your shot. If you're thinking about, you know, what you want to do for a job, shoot your shot so that you have a chance to compete, and don't play small. You know, really be conscientious about where you want to work, and be open and say, I need to come here to help you improve your diversity. We have a thing at Soona called Pitch Your Own Job. You can go to soona.co/careers and you can pitch your own job. I encourage people to shoot their shot all the time. You know, what are you great at? What is your superhero talent in the world? And you should do that for any place you want to work. You shouldn't wait for permission. You should just go ahead and give them a reason to bring you into their organization, because they'll be lucky to have you.
Thank you. Does any of the other sponsors want to take a crack at this question?
Yeah, Boundaryless, I would say, does a really good job with inclusion, because something that we strive to do with every program is have at least 50% of our participants be people of color. And also, I think with the fact that Boundaryless is a free program, I think that is great with helping with any kind of monetary barriers. And yeah, Aaron, if you want to speak to this as well.
I was just going to add that personally, as a white person, I find I spend a lot of my time thinking about how to be an ally. And I think that's a good challenge for all of us out there that are not part of the BIPOC community, to really find ways to not only champion diverse voices, but also leave space for diverse voices. And I think that that's just a personal challenge I try to take into every day, and I think about constantly as a leader of Boundaryless. So yeah, I guess that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. It sounds like, especially when you bring up like the pricing and everything, I think that really is something that makes Boundaryless so accessible to so many different people, because, you know, you can see some events in this industry being like $500 or $600 per ticket, and that is just not something that everybody can afford. So I love that you guys have a free opportunity for people to learn more about the industry and get some experience. That's so awesome. Last call before we move on to the next question. Cool. So this is going to be for anybody that has a, oh, actually, we just got a question in the chat. So we'll do this one first. This is from Grace M. For all the panelists, what are the most underrated skills that you look for when hiring or wanting to bring people into your organization?
I would say, so the Minneapolis Egotists, we're in a unique position. Our staff is very small and lean. Sometimes it's one person running the site. Sometimes it's maybe upwards of 3. But I would say we're always open-minded, and it's heart and hustle. And if you have a passion for the industry and you can bring something to the table, it doesn't matter where you come from. We want people that can sniff out the best creative and bring opportunities and bring organizations to spread the word on our site. And I would say just, you know, industry at a whole, I mean, I think that's what we need to bring to the table each and every day. So at least in our eyes, I mean, it's something that we like to prioritize, and it's never going to be weighted down at the bottom of the page. I mean, anytime we can bring it up and float it and promote it is what we try to do.
Wow, we love to hear that. Yeah, that's super awesome. Thank you for sharing that from the Minneapolis Egotist. Do we want to hear from somebody? I don't know if we've heard from people at Extra Grind or the BrandLab. If you guys would like to jump in and join.
Yeah, I can take off a little bit of like the Extra Grind hat a little bit, but typically when looking for, I think the beautiful thing about Extra Grind is it's also being free and highly accessible. You don't have to pay for anything. But one thing that I think I would encourage others that I think really stands out, if they can exhibit, I think, one, passion and proactiveness. The ability to, I think, if like there's tension in the room, I think sometimes even being like the first person to say like, hey, I'm a little nervous and I'm excited to be here. It's really funny. I find that a lot of individuals, they kind of feel the same way. So if you're able to just kind of speak a fundamental truth in any given situation and be proactive, or find a way to have that kind of first strike advantage, it always continues to pay dividend, whether you are going for a job position or reaching out for virtual coffee with someone that you've never met before. I've seen that as a really big, I think, component to success when exiting your comfort zone. So similar to what Liz said, shoot your shot, go for it, do it without permission.
Wow, thank you, Bryce, for sharing. It sounds like in general, it's showing up as who you are and just like giving it your all is a theme that we've been hearing a lot tonight. And again, as Alicia said in the chat, we love hearing about accessibility because this industry is not one that I would say is super accessible. So we love that Extra Grind is, again, for free for anyone. Awesome. Do we have anybody else who would like to answer this question before we move on?
I also, just let me add this one thing to this. Don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth and what you want. You know, sometimes when you're applying for a job, you are going to hear, we need you to do this. It's totally good and totally acceptable to say to your potential future employer, and I need you to do this. Can you do that? And maybe some of those examples of that would be, I need you to have healthy communication. I need you to share your DE&I initiatives with me. I need you to tell me about what you're doing to create standard and fair pay equity inside your organization. Those are good things to ask because it shows, one, you're engaged, two, you value yourself, and three, you have the ability to ask a tough question and navigate a hard conversation. My favorite people can have a hard conversation with me. They show up and they're honest, and it's fantastic.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Liz. That I love to hear that. That's the kind of stuff that you don't know until you hear that. And so, as Margaret just said in the chat, you know, sometimes we need to hear that. So that was a really great reminder. Let's move on to, I think this will be the last question of the night, depending on how everything goes. But this is from Rachel Gunderson. They're wondering if anybody has any advice on how to move into more of a creative role in the agency world. And I think we could expand this question is, how can we move into a discipline that maybe we are not initially a part of, or that is not what we might have a background in as well?
Hi, I can take this on because I have a lot of personal and very passionate experience about this, and you can DM me if you want my entire TED Talk on it. But the short of it is really both like looking at the experience that you've had before, and as you try to do transitions, I think we all know a lot of the good things to know are to like ask for more. If you're let's say you're in a really data heavy role, but you want to get into something more creative, really vocalizing that where you're at, and if the place you're at like thinks it's really cool and cute that that's what you want to do, but like can't really give you the opportunity, then being vocal about like within your networks that you are looking for opportunities where you can really do that shift. And then as you like prepare to do that shift, like really being able to package your past experience, like, hey, like I don't have a ton of, again, pivoting into creative is a thing I know about, but like I had a lot of experience managing creative and really looking at creative data. So I had a really data driven perspective on creative as I pivoted into like maybe less like traditionally data-driven creative, but I could still have that background that still set a competitive edge, even if it meant that I didn't go to a real portfolio school compared to other people I was competing against. So you're still unique and very capable and more than able to bring something new to the table, even if it's not the traditional path. You just kind of have to think about embracing being a non-traditional applicant when you do pivots like that. And I can, again, talk about this for hours. Huge tip, extra grind.
Thank you so much, Anjali. I think that everything you said is super pertinent because, you know, being at an agency or needing to go to a different school to like get these skills, like that might not be feasible for some people. So I definitely think leveraging what you know, and again, this common theme that we've heard throughout the night of just like shooting your shot is definitely something that I think could be pertinent to what you were talking about.
I think one thing that Liz said before that resonated with me is like, networking is important, but also people, when they think about networking, it's like schmoozing with people who are higher up. And it's like, network with your peers. They're going to help you out. They're going to be in roles and at places that you think are super cool. And they are going to be the ones that know you best. So like, you should connect with people that you actually like hanging out with too.
Or even individuals that you don't really hang out with, but are in your classes. That's how I ended up getting my first internship as well. Just having a chat with acquaintances from class, saw them at an event on campus where at the school where I went, and literally could be your next door neighbor, the person sitting right next to you in class. You literally, a connection could come from anywhere. You never know where it's going to come from.
You are totally right, Bryce. Networking. I know that that's such a buzzword in this community of like, yeah, guys, get your network on, like all of that kind of stuff. But it is true. So, you know, spot on, Bryce. I just want to see if anybody has any last remarks that they would like to say as we come to a close. We don't want to hold anybody past the time. We want to be conscious of everybody's time. So yeah, if anybody has anything that they would like to say before our closing remarks. Now,
My final thought on this creative thing, the most important thing is to not wait for someone to give you permission to be a creative person. You have every single ability right now to go create something beautiful and amazing, whatever it is, your website, your amazing eyebrows in Santana's case. I mean, my God, she's creative with the incredible perfection of her brow power. Like there are ways in which you can exercise the creativity of your spirit, the creativity of your point of view, and share that online and make that part of your narrative, make that part of your story. Don't wait for other people to give you permission to make that part of your story. It is your story. So just go do it. And for those of you wondering how you're going to get a daily dose of my TED Talk, I actually am thinking about starting a podcast. And so if you think this is a good idea, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about starting a podcast called The Imposter Syndrome Remedy, which is just a 10-minute cure every single week about how I think you can beat your imposter syndrome. So if I need it and I need to do it, let me know. So y'all are golden. Thank you.
Okay, well, I think if anybody else has anything to say, speak now or forever hold your peace if that's how it goes. But I think it is time to wrap things up. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead.
I was going to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Soona, Egotist, Extra Grind, Boundaryless, and the BrandLab. You guys were so great tonight. We just love hearing all this great information. For the attendees, thank you so much for joining too. We'll definitely follow up with the questionnaire and we'll reach out to any of the giveaway winners tonight. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you had a great time.
Thank you, everyone.